Well, you were on Academics podcast, and you said that you'd be okay with having another guy have sex with your girl.
Well, this kind of got spun out of control, but I said that we had considered it, that we had, had the conversation about swinging. And I think what kind of got lost in that whole conversation is that it hasn't happened, and like we've never really like. It was more just an idea of like, would we be into that? Never done it. I think something that kind of sometimes gets lost with the whole like my girl being a porn star thing is that we've been together for like 5.5 years, and she's never had sex with anybody else besides me during that time period, males. And yeah, I mean, we had the conversation about it because I do know couples who swing, and I find it intriguing, but also scary and weird.
Right.
So I've had the conversation. I guess the thing that I didn't expect was that so many people would be so shocked by the concept of it. And I guess that's kind of my two worlds meeting right there, because I'm in the porn world where like, I know big time like star dudes in the porn world who are married to girls, and those girls still go and shoot with other male porn stars. And it's just whatever. They're just kind of used to it. That's just, work. That's normal shit in their world. Obviously, you see with like the Will Smith thing, like, the idea that Will Smith would allow somebody else to fuck his wife is like so beyond most rap fans' comprehension. So, I mean, I still haven't done that again, but, we had the conversation. I wouldn't say that I like completely ruled it out, although I also am not really like, it's not like I want to, I'm not on that cuck time. Like I do know people that like, that's their thing. Like they actually like I remember there was this guy at my gym, and he was asking me to go to the club with him. And he's like a 50-year-old Persian dude. And he seemed rich as fuck. So at one point I'm like, yeah, I'll go to the club, man. Hit me up. Like, this is like very early days of me dating my girl. And so my friend at the gym goes, don't go to the club with him. I'm like, what do you mean? He seems like he's got mad girls, etc. He's like, yeah, but his whole thing is that like he wants to like hang out with cool dudes and then have those dudes fuck the girls in front of him. And I'm like a little weirded out by that. I'm like, are you for real? That's like his thing? And he's like, yeah. But the worst thing is like he showed me a video one time of a dude that he had paid fucking a girl while he ate her pussy like an inch away from the guy's dick. And I'm just like, oh my, like what did I almost get? I almost went to the club with this dude. I almost got like, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know if he would have forced me or if he would have just propositioned me to like do that or whatever. But my mind was blown. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people out here who are really into that shit.
Well, listen, in my younger days, I've had threesomes where me and my homie fuck with the same girl. We'd be on either side. Right. We wouldn't be up on each other, whatever else. And I remember, I believe that was the moment in my life where I realized I wasn't gay. Where if there was ever a question in the back, every guy is like, it's the proper situation. Am I gay? Am I straight? Who knows? I remember, in that situation, I'm like, I'm just trying to tune this dude out and try to focus on this girl. I'm not interested in my friend at all. Like, in fact, I wish he wasn't even here.
Right.
But here we all are, so we got to do what we got to do. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there are situations like that. And, there's a whole cuckold thing where dudes like to watch other guys have sex with their wives or girlfriends.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if that's your thing, more power to you. I think people kind of freaked out when they heard you say it.
Right.
Because you have kids with her.
Yeah.
You have a kid with her, and you guys are in a real relationship. It's not just like a side chick. You know what I mean?
It was interesting to me though, because it's just, I know a lot of people who do that, who swing. It's just like it's a lot more common than you'd think.
Yeah. People don't just put it out there.
Yeah, exactly. People are hella secretive about it. And I guess I kind of like realized why, because I just acknowledged that we had even discussed it.
And it was over.
And people are making YouTube videos, like I was saying, like, this is something that I do. And I was just like, holy fuck, like this is weird, bro. But I would say the odds are we probably wouldn't ever end up doing it either.
Yeah. So. Listen, I was friends with this one DJ dude whose girlfriend was the porn star Julia Bond.
Okay.
And, she would go to work, have sex with dudes with no condoms, then come home to him and they would have sex, with no condoms again. And
some guys love that. That's one thing I've learned is some guys love that. Like, that's like a huge turn on to them. I've heard that from a bunch of girls. Like, my boyfriend likes the idea that I was getting fucked for 4 hours earlier today on camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because the thing is with porn boyfriends is that there's a shelf life on that shit. Like, like I've seen it over and over and over where like It's always been easy for me because it's like my girl's, hooking up, taking sexy pictures with some girl, eating some girl's pussy. I mean, I don't care. Like, it don't really even cross my mind when that's happening. But I've seen it where, like, I remember Riley Reid was with this guy for like fucking years and years and years. And then something happened where she didn't shoot for a couple months. And then she was about to go back to work. She doesn't actually shoot real porn anymore, but just because she got married. But she goes back to work and he just straight up tells her, like, he's like, I know it's been like 4 or 5 years, but I just don't like the feeling of like knowing that you're off doing that all day. And I think you've made enough money and I really want you to stop, etc. And she was just like, I'm not stopping. And fucking, that was like the end. But I've heard that story over and over and over where the guy might be cool with it for a month or 2 months or 6 months or a year. But it just feels like dudes like burn out on the porn star dating thing unless they're really in the game as well.
Yeah. Are they cool with it? Or do they feel, listen, if I want to keep this woman in my life, I have to accept things that I'm not really cool with, but I feel like I can't do any better than this, or I feel like this is my dream girl, or the sex is just so great that if I try, and she was like this when I met her, right. So I can't switch it up at this point, so I'm just going to tolerate it until I reach my breaking point. That's what it really sounds like to me.
There's definitely situations like that. I had a crazy one the other day where we did a threesome with this girl who had been on the Patreon, etc. People were all excited to see me and my girl hook up with her. And she tells me like a couple of days before and is like, you got to wear a condom. I never wore a condom on camera ever before. And I'm like, okay, like how come? And she's like, well, my dude, she said they had a fluid bond. So I had to wear a condom and I couldn't come in her mouth. That's what a fluid bond is, apparently. It's like and then even when we were hooking up.
I learned a new term today.
Right, the fluid bond. Okay. Even while we were all hooking up, she said like that it was kind of a stressful thing for me to be fucking her just because it was me. Where he's like, I watch that podcast all the time. Like, I don't know if it's going to ruin me watching the podcast or whatever. And that was the first time I kind of realized like, oh, even girls who are allowed to fuck other dudes in the context of their relationship might not be allowed to fuck me. And then again, the other day, there was like a porn star that my girl was trying to book a scene with. And the girl basically said like, I don't think I'm going to be able to shoot with Adam. And I'm like, cool, this girl, and I know her and stuff. And then I realized like, I know her boyfriend. And that's why it would be weird, is because he's got to see me on TV and shit. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
The wild world of Adam22. All right, man, that's what it is. Congrats on all the success, man, all these years. Like I said, we've always been cool. We've always kept it 100 with each other. Whenever I've needed a contact or advice on something, you've always been there for me whenever you hit me up, vice versa. I mean, I appreciate our relationship, man. I appreciate the growth that you've gone through. And, and I really respect how, you and I are not going in the same direction. We watch each other's stuff, but we have our own lanes and we don't try to really go into each other's lanes that much. We have our own thing and we've all done very well with it, man.
100%,
So congrats on your new thing. You got the new podcast dropping.
Check my Twitter. It'll be the pinned tweet.
Boom. That's what it is. Until next time. Peace.
Appreciate you, man.